everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial for the Flesh Eater Courts. Yes, we are back once more with Grand Justice Gormayne. An absolute fan favourite, this one. He's very cool. He's very, very cool indeed. And we're going to be painting him up today because Games Workshop has sent him early to me to build up and paint for all of you. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And we're going to jump in and we're going to start doing it straight away. So, 30 seconds in. Anyway, he's been primed in White Scar. And the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Contrast Medium and Gutrippa Flesh. And we're going to be applying this all over the top of Gormayne's skin. Specifically Gormayne, not his hat. Or indeed, his grisly trophies. So with that Gutrippa Flesh and Contrast Medium mix all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Black Legion and Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this all over the top of his robes. And this is going to give us a really grimy, dark browny black, which is perfect. It kind of bakes in a bit of the dirt. So with that mix applied over all of the robes, as you can see, it's looking pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some Gryph-Charger Grey. And we're going to apply this over the top of his skin, just to give it a bit of shade in. So with that all done, what we're going to do is we're going to tackle the main event next, which is the wig. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some Carroburg Crimson. And what we're going to do is take 3 parts Carroburg Crimson to 1 part Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this all over the top. Whilst we're waiting for all that to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Cygor Brown and Contrast Medium. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the book covers. As well as the leather strapping around his gavel. So with that done, the wig should now be dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 colours. Volupus Pink, Shyish Purple, and Lahmian Medium. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Volupus Pink, and we're applying this over the top of quite large sections of the wig. So I'm going to start just here, in fact. I'm going to apply this like this. Just like that. Then I'm going to wash the brush, touch off the water, grab a little bit of Shyish Purple, and I'm going to add this in there. Like that sort of thing. Wash the brush once more, grab a little bit of Lahmian Medium, and use this to move some of that pink around like that. Wash the brush once more, and it's back to Volupus Pink. I'm going to come up here, just going to add a little bit of this on that inside track there, because I just missed a bit. There we go. Wash the brush once more, grab a little bit of Shyish Purple, add this towards the bottom, wash the brush, grab a little bit more Shyish Purple, begin to move it around, wash the brush once more, touch off the water, and grab a small amount of Lahmian Medium. And I'm going to move this around like that. Wash the brush once more, and it's Volupus Pink again. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the remaining area. Like that. And wash the brush once more. Touch off the water. Grab a little bit of Shyish Purple. We're going to apply this like so. Wash the brush, grab a little bit of Lahmian Medium, and once again just move it about like that. So whilst that's all drying, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh now. I'm going to apply this over the top of the hands. With those hands painted in, we then want to take some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the bones and the pages. And next up, we're going to take some Black Templar. I'm going to use this for a couple of different things. So, firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of his teeth. and inside the mouth. We're going to apply this over the top of the eyes and the kind of bottom eyelid or his cheekbone. And I'm going to apply this over his little claws. And the bindings on the books. And next up we want to take a little bit of Carroburg Crimson, not very much at all. We want to apply this around his nose. With that now done, we want to take a little bit of Nuln Oil. We want to use this over the top of his ruff. And then next up, we're going to take some Iron Warriors. I'm going to apply this over the top of his chain. So that done, we've got all of our base coats on Grand Justice Gormayne. So now it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Blood Angels Red. And we're going to use this over the top of these leather straps up here, as well as the bottom two book covers under his foot. Like that, and then down here as well. And with that done, we then want to take a little bit of Magos Purple. I'm going to apply this over the top of this book cover, just to add the slightest hint of purpling to the brown. And for our final shade, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade. We're going to apply this over the top of the chain. So with that all done, it's now time to add some highlights, because he is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And we're going to start out by taking some thinned down Deepkin Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight all of Gormayne's skin. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is take some thinned down white scar, and we're going to use this to highlight his ruff, his teeth, and his eyes. And with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Skavenblight Dinge. I'm going to use this to highlight his robes. And with all that Skavenblight Dinge applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Stormvermin Fur. I'm going to apply this as like a little kind of spot highlight over the top of those Skavenblight Dinge highlights. So we're just going to start picking out the sharpest parts. That Stormvermin Fur applied, we're then going to take some Black Legion. What we're going to do here is going to apply this in between the folds. Now whilst this looks like it's doing lots, it actually doesn't. Once it dries, it just adds a little bit of extra depth. Finally, for the robe, what we're going to do is we're going to take a tiny little bit of Karak Stone, and we're just going to apply this on little corners. Of the robe. It's a little heavy there. So you just wash the brush. Get a bit of water on there. And remove it just like that. So that done, the cape is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the wig. And the colour we're going to be using to highlight this is some thinned down Pallid Witch Flesh. Now, what we want to do here is we want to do a very small, tiny amount of highlights, not very large ones at all. So what we're looking to do is pick out essentially all of the, for lack of a better word, sausage links, but really small, almost vaguely just like little dots. I know they're intestines, but sausage links sounds funnier. With that, the wig is nearly finished. We've just got one last thing to do to it. But what we're going to do before we do that is we're going to take some Flayed One Flesh. Some Flayed One Flesh. We're going to take some Flayed One Flesh and we're going to highlight these hands. With that Flayed One Flesh applied, we're then going to take some Blood for the Blood God. And what we're going to do here is we're going to apply this over the top of the tops of the hands. just like that sort of thing. And then in the wig, what we're going to do is add a little bit of it here and there. In the recesses to taste. So we'll just give you this little kind of hint of wet blood. Like so. Then, similarly, on the pages, I'm going to wipe most of this off. I'm going to add some little stains. Like that. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to work on those book pages a little bit more. So we're going to take some Wyldwood, not very much of this at all, because we want to do some kind of faded writing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start applying this all over the pages of the book. So with that done, we've got all of our kind of faded writing on it. So now what we need to do is need to put on those daubed runes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown here. And this is going to be actually quite heavy. So what we're going to do is just start up here in this top left corner. Is we're going to draw kind of an uneven sort of circle type thing. And then a sort of thick line coming down like this. And then we want to draw a really thin little kind of drip mark coming down off it, like that. Then underneath it, this is kind of a sort of, again, uneven T. You just kind of want to blob this on like in a, almost like a stipple in many ways, but we're not looking for straight lines here really. Like that. And I'm going to do another kind of sort of almost like a P type thing here. Like that. And on the next page over, just in here, it's kind of almost like a trident type thing. Like that. And again, like a little sort of almost drip mark. Like that. Next to that, down here. It's quite a simple little sort of splodge. And then over here, another sort of splodgy type thing. Down here. One of those sort of bees. Then we're back up here. It's like a V type thing. And there's another one just under it, which is almost like the neatest one. Like that. And then we've got another one of those like sort of trident-y type things. So it looks vaguely like that. And then finally like that. With that done, the pages of the book are now finished and I think they look fantastic. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to highlight the bones. With that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker and we're going to use this to highlight his chain. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Knight-Questor Flesh and we're going to use this to highlight all of the book spines. And with that done, we're now going to finish it off by taking some thinned down grey Seer. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a little white border and a title on the front of the cover. So we're going to start in this corner. I'm going to draw a line going across like that. Rotate the model. A little too much grey Seer there. Slightly awkward angle to do it at, so I'm just going to change things up. Like so. Then, in each of the corners, I'm going to add a little kind of flourish. And that sort of thing. Do the same thing again in the other corner. that. And then on the front cover of said book, I'm going to add just a little series of lines like that.
And so with his base complete, Grand Justice Gormayne is now finished, ready to pass judgment upon all who cross Usharan and Nagash, and, well, probably himself. He's probably got some very strong opinions about whether or not you should be following his rules or not. And he's very, very cool miniature. Really, really nice. Lovely, lovely stuff. The wig is just unbelievable and so easy to do. It's just, yeah, could do a couple more of him, actually. That'd be fun, wouldn't it now? If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.